everyone, and welcome to the Futurecast. I'm your host Shivam, and today we are diving into the world of generative AI with none other than Dr. Ravi Changle, an expert in AI, emerging technology, and governance. Dr. Ravi has been the forefront of AI innovation, driving advancements in sustainability, ethics, and beyond. We will explore about from AI impact on our jobs to its role in transforming industries. So let's get started. So Dr. V, welcome to the webcast.
Thank you so much, Shivam. Let's eye for the kind of a great discussion with you so that we can discuss what exactly going to be the future challenges, fits, advancements over there in AI. Yeah, lot many things would be the audience also would be enjoying that.
Perfect. So Dr. V, AI seems to be everywhere, faster than I can brew a cup of coffee on a Monday morning. One of the biggest questions that I see every CXO, CTO, every even an analyst level person is having in their mind that will generative AI really gonna take over their jobs or it's just a sci-fi talk? Do you really think that one day bot can also take over my job?
Well, nothing to worry on that grounds. There are so many ways and means by which we can definitely work out on AI, especially when it comes to the fear factor. You're very right on that. Like you're absolutely correct that the AI is basically a fear factor amongst the audience that, and let's say entire business, scenarios that whether it will take the jobs of those people who are not that skilled in AI. So let us discuss it further, with some kind of exemplaries which I would like to quote and where exactly the world is moving towards. So number one, as you mentioned that generative AI, whether it will be doing the magic. So I would say that it's not only generative AI, it's going to be the generative physical AI which will do not only the magics but which could also bring the disasters, right? So we have to be very cautious enough in leveraging generative physical AI. What exactly it is, we'll discuss in the podcast, during the course of the discussion. But right now, talking about the second pointer, whether it would be a challenge for others to have a job displacement. So across the world, be it United States, Europe, or be it the Asian countries, everybody is willing to understand that how exactly AI is going to displace the entire jobs and scenario, right? So therein, what exactly I would suggest is that yes, it would impact the world in terms of job displacements, but these job displacements will bring transformation in the kind of the skills which are exactly required to perform the same task. For example, if I talk about the kind of the podcast we are handling right now, so this would be having two things. You'll see that there would be real fiction coming into the discussions, right? Earlier we used to have kind of a script which is being generated by the creative people, right? For example, they can choose a topic, what exactly is happening worldwide, what exactly is going to be a matter of discussion for the audience at right time and with right set of content. Now the generative AI can bring in that in an automated fashion. We can identify within few minutes that what exactly is the global agenda which is happening, what exactly could be the right set of the content for the audience, which exactly now I'm speaking to. At the same time, it also gives you the recommendations that to attract the particular audience, what exactly are the the changes you need to have in your scripts. But I tell you, this is just the beginning. You may also find that these podcasts, which exactly are now discussed between you and me, the human versus human, it would be the bots talking to each other. It would be the machines discussing about their features. It would be, let's say, the rovers, which exactly are, exploring the, unexplored space. And then from there, we are seeing live discussions on a podcast that this what exactly is, the truth behind the, the universe. So that's how exactly, the things would change. But slowly, it's not going to happen by tomorrow. But yes, as I mentioned, generative physical AI is something which exactly would be triggering those kind of initiations, which exactly just showcased. So ideally, if I say in one line, AI will not be only displacing jobs, but it will be also bringing in transformation. It's up to us that whether I, myself, my organization, my country, my citizens exactly are also getting transformed as per the rallies of AI. So it means that we need to upskill ourselves in such a way that we can adopt AI. Not only adopt AI, we should identify that what exactly would be right sort of return on investment when I invest into AI. So yeah, let's unravel those secrets as well. Thanks.
Very interesting thing, Dr. V. I think whole the nation is not got now they're gonna involved into the AI thing, right? Even I see a lot of presidents and prime ministers, they are also nowadays commenting and involving AI in their strategy. So no doubt with that. But meanwhile, do you think that generative AI is doing everything? Writing poetry, coding apps, and maybe brewing coffee very soon. Is there anything it can't do? And what's the wildest application that you've seen so far? I've seen that almost my whole marketing plan is getting created by generative AI. So what's your thought about it?
Yeah, there are so many fascinating, use cases and let's say the kind of the platform which are being created around, generative AI. So it is now moving from generative AI to agentic AI kind of operations, where generative AI, which was majorly considered to generate something, it's now getting into the action also by execution. So agents, what they do is basically they are having now the power to execute as well. So we'll discuss about that. But there is another question which you just discussed. What exactly are the fascinating use cases, or let's say the kind of area of interest where exactly I had been working upon, and something which exactly is significant, which adds the value to the world. So yes, I have gone through many development aspects. Like we had created multiple platforms as a service for leveraging agentic AI operations, and I'll discuss that what exactly I've experienced and what the world is moving towards as well. So the best part, which exactly I could see when I was leveraging generative AI, was to design the visual merchandising in such a way that we never have thought of. For example, what I've done is like I have identified that hey, most of the retail companies, they fall short of ROIs because of the online business and the e-commerce coming in. The kind of there is a displacement happening there also. So the kind of the footfall is happening less nowadays, right? Everybody is busy with their mobile phone, and then mobile shopping is there, so nobody visits the retail, right? And to our surprise, that when there is a footfall also, then there is a window shopping coming in. And when they actually get into the product line also, they see that that hey, this product is good for me, not good for me, and basis that they have n number of decision making points that may or may not convert into business. To address that particular pain point, what exactly innovatively we have done is that we have identified that we can leverage generative AI in the best possible way. How come? So what we've done is like every retail chain, okay, they are made up of the basic concept that if something is visual, it's good to sell, right? And in Hindi we have a very common line, the kind of proverb there that if something is visible, jo dikhta hai wahi bikta hai, right? Like that. So if something is visible, then only it gets to the hands of the customers. What I would say, suggest there, and basically what we have innovated is that the very first line of action item which goes wrong is in deciding upon that which particular product should be sold out with the XYZ other product, with what product that should be assembled. So we call it the problem of assortment, right? So we had old school methodologies having market basket analysis, association rule mining. This were a bit technical stuff, but the thing is that we had to keep right pair of products in such a way that they are when one product is bought, suddenly the customer is seeing the another related product, and it also gets its increased sales. So that was the magic, the real magic earlier. Now what is happening is that when it comes to visual merchandising, there are planograms which are available in the market, right? These planograms are very much operational and very much customized from one particular retail organization to the other one. So it means that it is also a very hectic process to identify that where exactly I should place my product and what that ambience should be like. What should be my rack system? What should be my the kind of the trolleys which exactly would be displayed, or what kind of the fashion items where exactly it should be displayed. So adding a layer of computer vision was another aspect which exactly the market get evolved with. What we have done is like we have integrated the old school the thoughts on getting the product right assortments, basically on the basis of the kind of a market basket analysis, writing the logics of the displays with respect to the planograms, so that we can have the images ready. These images would be basically captured. These images could be further analyzed, and then can right assortment also could be mapped with respect to the orders. And lastly, when it comes to the additional layer to it, there is a generative AI piece which we can add upon. This generative AI piece is nothing else but will recommend that basis your market basket analysis logics, basis your visual audits, is it a right assortment or not? And that would be helping the retailers to grow their particular business on a daily basis, because it's directly connected to their the kind of sales records, the barcodes of products, and the displays as a whole. So you can see that it also can be a mobile application. It could be then converted to a kind of a voice based processing, where exactly the customer, or let's say the retailers, they also get these suggestions on the go. So these are some of the fascinating things which exactly are moving ahead. But there is a lot many uses of AI, especially generative AI, in the field of planet monitoring also. That's more towards green ops, but I'll discuss that later. But yeah, there's something there which is happening. And lastly, on the creativity part, generative AI is also leveraged now for drawing, the picturesque, working on landscapes. It's basically suggesting, the movie scripts and whatnot. So I said that, the future would be real fiction. You will see real also and fiction also merged together, and see what content would be coming out of the movies and all these things. Yeah.
So you're saying that next time if I'm watching a movie that might be created by AI, and next time if I'm entering in a retail shop or a mall or a supermarket, uh, AI must be reading my mind that they know that where exactly they need to place product so that Shivam can come and pick it up. That's what I think you are trying to say, right?
Exactly. And I'm not only thinking about that, I'm talking about machine customers also. Shivam will be having his own, robo, which exactly would be making purchase right away from your home itself. It will go to the market. It can, work out as a platform, and you'll be getting what exactly you need directly at your doorstep, which is already there. But the thing is that when we go to a physical, place and marketplace, we also, scan the things accordingly. No, this particular scans could also be virtual on that way. Virtual reality is something which is exactly a missing link between this discussion. But the thing is that virtual reality will get into further augmented realities, and then we'll be having the next layer of improvement, that is generative physical AI, which means that there would be a physical presence of yours in the market as well, where you can decide upon what exactly I need to do.
And I personally think that this is what most of the e-commerce websites have already implemented. I think people listening to this webcast, they must be able to relate it. Whenever they open their e-commerce platform, I don't want to take names, but still they know it what I'm talking about. They know exactly what they are at that website to buy. They see that product in the recommendation, whether the devices are listening to us or they know that what kind of customer behavior is. But yes, this is one very critical thing, that we are monitored, we are governed, the AI is learning from us, and one day I feel that AI is going to take over things that we usually do not need to do. So in the simplest manner.
Exactly. I think we missed is like we are assisted by AI these days. So AI is helping us, like our, buddy, like anything. And not only that, the AI is basically taking the role from assistance to, taking decisions further. And rightly said that in coming days, it will identify that what exactly I need, and accordingly it will fetch me the results and records anything what exactly I want in this world. But yeah, let's discuss that. I think there are so many things which exactly are coming out, and by the time we wind up this podcast, there would be n number of things, use cases which everybody can relate to in daily lives. And not only that, the business can identify that this is how exactly I want to work out in terms of agentic AI operations.
I also heard, Dr. Ravi, that people can now create their applications, not just applications. They can create their Gen AI models using their laptops, right? It's like downloading an application. Is this true, or do you have some other experiences? I think that things are getting very simple day by day. What's your view on this?
Yeah, basically these are like the tiny ML practices. We already used to have those kind of practices when we were working on IoT and edge workarounds. So we tend to work out on machine learning models working on a particular gadget or a device. The time has come now to make it tiny again. Tiny LM is coming up, and that's basically large language models wrapped into the tiny on the edge per particular piece. And then you can see that the that's what the generative physical AI the entire wave would be coming in the market. So that's the piece where exactly I can run this particular model on a particular device itself. So it means that, and fortunately we have got a patent also there, right, in this market, that we have identified one rover that is having the layer of generative physical AI, and the design patent is already ready with us, that how exactly this rover can be utilized. It can process the things by itself. For example, I'll give you one very simple example. I can send this rover to let's say a mysterious place, right? It can scan that environment, can identify that what exactly is the current state of that area, what exactly it can dig further in terms of if it's like a forest or it's a greenland or a vegetation. You can see that the rover would be able to send the information on the soil health. It can scan with the IoT sensors and devices that what exactly is the moisture, humidity around that, what water level is required for a given plant species, and not only that, what are the pesticides which are required to kill the pests which are there on the ground. Number one. Second, it will be able to interact with us because it's having already the generative layer within it. So in that case, it will be helping us to discuss mutually that this is what I see, and now I would suggest that you may need to order these kind of products for killing this pest. So that would be generative AI layer with respect to IoT, with respect to computer vision, and on the edge, which you rightly mentioned that now they are coming to the small devices.
So I can say Companel is ready for space, right?
At least we are started there, and platforms that we are right now using to make it further.
Perfect. Doctor, we spoke about retail, we spoke about space. What is your thought about healthcare? I think I've seen that there was some of these case studies were out from healthcare organizations where they are planning to use a technology called Agentic AI. So could you please clear first what is Agentic AI and then how different industries, like pick any one or two you want, and help us to understand how Agentic AI can transform any of the industry?
Exactly. So as I mentioned, whenever we talk about AI, artificial intelligence, right? As per, the entire, the theoretical workarounds on artificial intelligence, which happened from 1950s, Alan Turing has given a particular, terminology, the kind of the concept on AI. Terminology came from, McCarthy and team, within the Dartmouth conference and all. But when it comes to the real essence of artificial intelligence, Alan Turing has explained in very easy manner that how exactly an artificial intelligent, device or an object could be termed as an AI-driven object or a device. That's basically known as an agent. So there was a particular, mechanism, right? What exactly is there with an AI system? That first of all, it's mandatory for an AI system that it should be able to scan the environment. So there has to be an observation layer to it. You can observe, the agent can observe with respect to the kind of, the sensors. The computer vision adds the value over there to physically see the objects and detect the objects. Not only that, take the decisions, right? Think of a driverless car, right? So driverless car also is an agent. When it comes to the another aspect, the agent or a device which is artificially intelligent, right? It should be able to design policies and also should be able to act upon the policies which are set by humans. So for example, there is a particular object which is there, the car is seen with its observation layer. Now the car will take a left or a right basis that particular object. But how exactly it is doing that? Because there is a policy which was set that whenever there is an object of XYZ item size and all, so then it should take a left or right basis the kind of the space which is available. So that is a action which is taken on the policy. Now, this entire process is getting repeated and repeated over a period of time unless the particular car is moving to the destination within a stipulated time with the right set of expectations. So we have a system of reward and a penalty over there, right? So this reward and penalty basically is nothing else but the performance check on these devices, on agents. So it's already been there since ages that when an artificial intelligence system is identified, this is how exactly you can call it an agent. Now, when it comes to AI agents, which we are now referring to, is doing the same thing. It's basically the only thing is that the observation is which I was talking about is not which I am feeding to it. The observations are already fed into it because it's a generative AI based agents which you are talking about. Which means that if large language model is there and it is trained on images, on videos, on text, on any particular information, it's basically pre-built. It is wrapped in particular model. This model I'm using to observe, to recommend, to take decisions accordingly, and then further I can customize it. So it's the same thing. The only thing is that yes, because I could not train my particular car on a number of scenarios by myself, OpenAI has done that, right? OpenAI has done that where exactly it has trained its own model, GPT models, on a very large pool of data, right? And there we are using that. So it's already being utilized accordingly. These are the that they execute. That's the beautiful part of it. Yeah.
So you're saying next time, if someone sitting in US or any other country buying an EV with a smart system, let's say even Tesla can decide what my mood is, where I have to be, take the call, understand environment, and can further take me to the place, right? Without me putting any data or any command. Do you think that is also possible?
It is possible. It had been successful as well, right? So in most of our projects which we are working now, with our clients, we have made AI agents not only to generate the results, but also to take the command and control and execute the the kind of operations. So since these are like very much a confidential ones, I can't discuss, but you can understand that if I'm writing a script, there has to be an executor over there. So there are certain platforms which are available on open source that public can see them. Say AutoGen, right? AutoGen is basically helping you to create by itself, let's say, pool of service integrations. For example, now if I have a particular task of doing research, I have to work out on R&D. Earlier, what I have to do is that human has to be involved. It had to, the person or the scientist has to identify a lot many literatures, to scan the literatures, identify what exactly is required from the abstracts, from the research papers, get the understanding from them, do a gap analysis, then generate the findings. Right now, what agentic AI operations are there in that field as well as that these particular autogen based agents or any other agentic AI operations we talk about. from Azure side, from AWS side. I mean, so when I talk about, the AutoGen based AI agents, or be it the agents which are coming from Microsoft or coming from AWS, there are so many generative AI and agentic AI operations in the platform which are available. Now, how exactly they work out is they're having a very simplistic architecture of operations.
So, Dr. Ravi, I think so far you've given us very basic, good understanding around how people can understand generative AI, what agentic AI is, and everything around the world. I have some controversial questions. I was Googling them yesterday, and I also used our AI friend ChatGPT to give me 10 controversial questions for you. Let me ask few of them. Let's see whether people will be able to relate it or not. So, Dr. Ravi, some experts warn that generative AI could become too intelligent for human to control. Do you think that we are headed towards a future where AI becomes a threat to humanity? Or this is just a fear overblown? So what's your thought about this?
So ideally, every particular system is having three phases, right? We can leverage a system in the state of passion. We can leverage the same system in the state of ignorance. We can leverage the same system in the state of, goodness. So no matter what exactly the AI is being leveraged for XYZ industries and XYZ countries and all, but there would be three systems which always would be existing as per the law of nature, and nature will balance by itself. We can't balance the nature. Nature has the power to balance itself. So there is no fear at all because nature has those rights. Number one. Second thing is that if I talk about AI for ignorance very quickly, if I don't know what exactly I should head towards in terms of AI, if I'm not aware what right use cases I need to work out for my business operations to get involved in AI, have adoption of AI, this is in the state of ignorance. And definitely those people who are exactly having those kind of the dark conspiracies and the dark nature of operations, they will definitely leverage AI in ignorance only. That will be bad for society. But nothing to worry because we have people who are also working in the state of goodness, as I mentioned. So AI for good is basically what exactly we need to work out and focus more, which is for a global good, which is in the state of consciousness. And that also answers the another question that whether we can have a kind of a intelligent system where exactly it can grow beyond humans. Ideally not possible because we come with a state of consciousness. Intelligence and consciousness is still there is a thin line of a difference. So we'll discuss that.
So privacy versus progress is my next concern. Even I found a lot of Quora quotes coming around it. So AI thrives on data, but with privacy concerns growing in the market. Is the tech industry sacrificing individual rights like you and me, or like the listeners that are there, for innovation? Where do we draw the line between AI development and protecting personal freedom?
Bang on. I think this is the right question at right time because I would like to tell the entire audience whosoever is listening, and especially the body corporates and the IT industries and everybody as leaders of AI. So this all practice depends on maturity of an industry. For example, there would be very small IT company, okay, but it has its sound compliance. It has got its sound maturity in terms of cybersecurity practices. It has got sound practices in terms of ethical aspects, right? So though it's small in size, but it is taking due care in having maturity of these aspects. Where exactly these are coming from? These are coming from the kind of audits which exactly the organizations have. SOC audits basically are available where exactly the industry should be benefited by, and they should have internal audit systems as well to have AI management systems. For example, I myself is working as like a lead auditor for ISO enabled 42001 kind of initiatives where we have to check every aspect of information passing, that how exactly we are storing the information, how exactly the data is being leveraged, or what is the biasness and fairness of the AI models which exactly are there in the the industry. So from that perspective, I would say that it completely is subject to the maturity of an organization. So matured organizations, they will definitely draw the boundaries, as we mentioned, on right to equality of equality, right to have freedom of knowledge and share that particular things over there on the public and the private platforms. So everything would be taken by due care with respect to these matured organizations. So answer, I think you have got it. So it's that we need to just work out on our maturity aspect, that where do we stand. So get yourselves checked and assessed in terms of maturity, that at what level we stand in terms of leveraging AI, and then you can then once you raise to a next level, I think then you can eye up on the next level. So there are multiple stages of AI maturities which you can opt for. This will be automatically sorted.
Perfect. So does AI have a bias problem? There's been a lot of talk about biasness in AI systems, with critics claiming it reinforces societal inequalities. Is it possible to build truly unbiased AI, or is bias biasness is an unavoidable byproduct of how we train these systems. Like giants are there in market, Microsoft, AWS, there is Google, there is so many companies coming up with their own AI platform. We all think that at some level that AI gets biased with the kind of byproduct that we're getting out of it. But what's your view on this, Dr. V?
First of all, let me discuss the global view. Stanford report also, on latest AI practices, it says that yes, there are certain biasness which exactly they observe in most of the large language models as well. Some of them are basically ranked towards having the biasness towards the political boundaries and region specific, biasness. So where this biasness comes from? It's not the AI systems are having biasness. It's the person who develops the system is biased towards the, usage of AI. So for example, if I were to, work out entirely in terms of having the best in class, global system for leveraging AI for everybody. When I'm saying everybody, it means that not only my country people, the entire continent and the entire people on this planet should get that particular right set of access and tools in, let's say, assistance by AI. So if with that objective we are designing the AI systems, those would be totally unbiased. But when I'm saying that I'm building a system within my organization, my country, it's for my people, definitely that's going to be certainly on a biased side. What if the other people of other country and region, they use your product if you're selling it, then definitely it will be showcased that, hey, whatever the generation which we are getting, out or the output which are getting from these particular, models, especially on the large language model front I'm talking about, they would be slightly biased towards the nation, towards their particular culture, towards the data which is being fed. So for a global platform to be unbiased is just only one thing we need. We need to have equal rights of accessing those particular data and observations which exactly are being fed to the system so that it can be made global, not a local version of it. If it is local, then it should be limited to that country and boundaries itself. So I think that is what exactly we need right now. The humans should not be biased so that they can avoid biasness in the building the AI systems. By the way, we have got the algorithmic workarounds where exactly we can check the biasness of the models and algorithms as well, that whether they are a bit biased. So that also can be tuned after getting them built and we're training on the custom data. But let's take that, in maybe in the other discussion, that how exactly we can fine tune if it's already we are using something which is biased.
Okay. Another interesting point that I found was, is AI killing creativity? When AI now is writing books, making art, and composing music, some argue that it's diluting human creativity. I think a couple of years back, as a marketing lead, I used to hire content writers. I saw that the moment generative AI came into the picture in last 3 years, 60-70% of my content writers, they lost their job. Proofreaders lost their job. Transcriptors lost their job. Do you think that AI is fostering creativity, or it is stiffing it by producing a flood of automated, soulless content? This is very interesting.
Well, I would be with you in this manner that recently I was going through certain reports and what exactly found that one of the company, they called upon the creative artist and they had to take some photography and they have to design some kind of the paintings, and the model was to get trained on this particular painting. So these kind of products are also coming in the market which can generate those kind of curated content based images and let's say the paintings and whatnot. If I talk about alternative investment also, right, painting is one which exactly fall into that category of investments, right, where there's a huge speculation around the investments into the paintings these days as an alternative investment. So actually these two things are linked. So when a particular businessman is looking for paintings, it is just looking for auctions, exhibitions and all. They are not worried about who is designing it, how much pain the creative artists they are putting in to design that painting. They just are worried in terms of whether they will be getting their right set of investments or not when they buy these kind of things. For there, it would be business. The real artist is who is not deviated by this kind of false platforms where exactly they claim to be something which can generate beyond human psyche. I would say that whatever they are generating is nothing else but already this is curated work of other individuals which they are working upon, so that though it will generate the unreal output, but it is based on some real facts and figures, right, and the paintings. So I would say that what we need to do is these particular artists should not be buffooned by any other platform or a model like that. What exactly they can right away think is they can use these platforms, or let's say they can use this particular agentic AI operations just to upskill their understandings on creativity, because it will help them to connect to the rest of the world where exactly they couldn't connect earlier. For example, if I'm designing a pic in India, right, I had certain boundaries which I come from, and I have got certain visualizations and imaginations. What I can see is that now if I search on generative AI engine that, hey, what exactly are the creativities when it comes to Italian paintings, how exactly they think in terms of painting. So you can have an actual cultural hybrid, and then you can imagine the next real product within yourself. So it's not those people who exactly are not able to use AI, they would be at risk. It's not that the creative people would be at risk. So what I would say is bring your creativity, excel it, transform it with the power of AI and generative AI as well.
Another question for you, which is around the risk of autonomy. Agentic AI it is capable of making decisions on its own. I think we already discussed about it, and it is becoming very common. I saw very recently Microsoft published a lot of content in Ignite around Agentic AI. I think Compinel is also having this service around Agentic AI. How do we ensure that these systems they stay aligned with human values? Is there any risk they might go rogue or prioritize efficiencies over ethics? So everyone is pretty concerned about it. What's your thought?
So you highlighted a very right term here, the risk. So risk is something which is uncertain. So definitely when there is something which is we are talking about an uncertain, there would be fear factor, there would be some kind of wrong expectations which we can have. We can also get worried about those particular risk things. So ideally this particular part comes under AI risk, right? So when it comes to AI risk, there is a proper framework, be it NIST framework, be it coming from European Union, be it coming from IEEE Standard Association, where we are also a part of, right? Working groups where exactly we're working on designing the norms for the global good in terms of managing those risks. So from that angle also, and as listed on Forbes Technology Council for especially for ethics and governance, I would like to mention here a very important thing. Number one, let's not get worried about anything which exactly comes on the way of AI, because it is just getting evolved, right? So we cannot decide on n number of aspects right now. It is not a time where exactly we should take a call that, hey, should I resist using AI or should I get into it? So that dilemma has to be taken off, because let's leverage AI. Let's leverage AI for good. That's what I mentioned. Next to it would be the next roadmap is that when it comes to like uncertain events, which exactly happens, keep a track of those. How you can keep a track of those? There is a platform, OECD platform, right? OECD, which gives you the AI incidents globally. You can search over there that, hey, what exactly are the incidents within this region, this area in terms of AI? You'll get all the listed principles of AI, what exactly has been recorded over there. And you can see those cases, those news, which exactly is outcome of those particular risk and the incidents which happened over there in AI. So just first of all, get into AI. Second, stay updated by getting into risk monitoring of AI incidents happening. Then the third thing is that how exactly I can ensure that within my company, I should have no risk related to AI. And also we know that there is no risk me is also indicating that there won't be returns as well, right? But in terms of AI, there are certain 17 principles which we can check out. And those 17 principles of explainable AI, responsible AI, if they are met, I assure 99.99% that all such risks which exactly we are seeing from the global boundaries gets mitigated. So follow right set of standards within the company, get yourself audited properly, get right side of assessments in terms of maturity of AI, and then when you get into AI, the world is yours.
So, Dr. Ravi, is AI overpromised for business? Many B2B leaders invest in AI expecting immediate ROI and they only get disappointed so many times. Is the AI hype creating unrealistic expectations for businesses or companies simply failing to adapt it in the right manner? So, do you think that is it actually happening? Are people failing to adopt AI?
No, Shivam. I think I would like to ask another question, which you can answer, I think, in a better way. Then I'll definitely answer this. Weren't the things exactly you've been witnessing in terms of marketing and sales side also, and let's say not only that from the global bird's eye view you would be definitely having. So do you agree that every startup which exactly was launched is successful without AI itself?
I don't think so.
Right?
You're right.
So it means that already there was a kind of a record which is available that in India also, and let's say in other countries as well, that only 2% of the startups they succeed, right? And that's a very pathetic thing. Most of the organizations, most of the companies, most of the startups, they fail not because of technology. It's because of the business idea which they are working upon. So basically, the first failure itself is there. If my business is having a poor idea generation mechanism, if I'm having poor marketing research, if I'm having a poor R&D mechanism to understand what I should offer and to whom I should offer. So that's the basic thing which exactly is again, being at stake. It's not AI which is failing them. It's that wrong ideology which is failing them. If they have right set of understandings on market, if the right set of understanding on what exactly is to be offered, they know that how I should leverage AI to support that business activity. So AI here is for assistance. It's not to take control of your business and do business for you. That becomes the autonomous thing. Don't give this power to the AI agents, right? That they do business for you, right? You can get the support of these particular AI agents to get your operations successful. Don't be over ambitious. Try to have strong foundations of business first. It means that I should have strong HR practice. If I have a strong, marketing practice, if I have my perfect business finance function, how exactly I can fail on my major foundations? If I am securing those business activities, adding life to my business, life to business is the very important factor. It's like more than money, I would say, because if a particular successful business is seen, it is basically mentioned that it is working since last 100 years, right? Working at this particular, $1 billion of a growth rate. It's not given in percentage terms. It is observed with respect to the tenure of that particular business. That makes it more successful and sustainable. So where is the missing link? The missing link is that we should have the ecosystem where we can identify how to boost the life of a business. And then AI would be just supporting you to make your vision get accomplished with respect to the mission and the objective you have set. So again, I would say that let AI be your supportive decision maker, but your business itself is what exactly you should invest in. What should be the right side of business activities which you should perform with your target audience and the kind of prospects which you're working upon.
We have a lot of takeaways, key takeaways from this webcast, and I really appreciate you, Dr. Ravi. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. This conversation has been an eye-opening for me, for a lot of people that are facing ethical challenges of AI and wherever they're trying to implement AI as a digital transformation partner. You helped us to demystify not the power of AI, but also the responsibility that comes with it. To our listeners, I hope today's discussion inspired you to think about how your business can embrace AI thoughtfully and strategically. Remember that the future of AI isn't about replacing humans. It's about empowering us to achieve more. So thank you all for tuning in to the Futurecast. Every Wednesday we'll come up with new leaders like Dr. Ravi, and we all will connect again on interesting topics. If you have your own personal demand or you want to cover up any topic, you have any questions, you can reach out to us on our social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, which is X now, and as well as on Instagram. And you can also write us email, visit our website, www.comptil.com. And you can also reach out to Dr. Ravi Changle directly on his LinkedIn. He's very, very, very responsive. So you won't even imagine the kind of responses he gives and how immediately he responds back. So Dr. Ravi, thank you once again, and thank you everyone for joining in. We're looking forward to see you all next week. Thank you.